After we cut the wood into the shape based on our template, like this, and then sand them, it is time to bend these ribs based on our ball template. This is my old ball template, and what we need to bend the wood is heat and moisture. So I made this, I can show you, I made this heater myself. It's not totally precise, completely precise, but it's fine. It can bend my ribs, but after bending, I need some micro adjustments with the heat gun that I have here, that I will show you in the next part of the video. But now I open the door of my heater to show you how it works. So it is made of iron. I made this one. I put some heaters inside. It's use electricity. It's something around 500 watts to work. It's not getting that heat, so it can make a boil of water. Actually, it's around more than 100 degree. It works fine. So I designed some clamps here to hold the ribs, and then I start bending the ribs on the heater. But first I will put the ribs into the water. Sometimes I use the normal water, tap water, but sometimes I use boiled water. Boiling water is good for some woods. It's necessary for some woods, but for some other woods, like this one, this is a walnut, gray walnut. It's I don't think that it needs boiling water. I just put them for half an hour to 1 hour in water, and then I start bending the ribs on my heater that I will show you in the video. So the door will be closed. It's completely safe to work with. So let's see how it works. So I'm going to use this one. This is a piece of pipe that I close one end, and I put a piece of wood inside this to keep the ribs inside, and I fill it with water, and then I will keep the ribs inside the water for some times, for half an hour to 1 hour, and then take them out and blend it with the heater. So as you see, I take out my ribs out of the water, and I want to fix them and bend them on my heater. The heater is right now is, maybe if you see in the video, it's completely hot. So I start with the very tip here. It's done. Just check to have a straight bending. Nice. So this is what it looks like after fixing on the bending heater. I'm satisfied with this. I just keep the ribs and keeps the heater on until all the ribs getting dry a little bit and getting more heat. Then I turn the heater off and leave it for some hours to for fixing the shape and to let the ribs to hold the shape, and then we will open them and adjust them to the template. As you can see in the video, when I open the ribs from the heater, the ribs goes back a little bit, so they didn't keep the form, they didn't completely bend it as we wanted. So we need the second step to adjust the bending and adjust the ribs to be completely follow our template. As you can see, I fixed my template here to check the rib for the second part of my bending process. I start with checking the ribs with my template and start from the end tip of my ribs and check if I see any kind of mismatches. I start fixing with the heat gun. So I can see that this very first part is a little bit a problem. I spray some water in the rib to help me for better bending. So it's nice. So you don't need that much pressure. You have to be careful about bending, so let it be enough hot to bend it easily. So I see it's almost fine. So see here. Check. So I have to flatten this part because of my template is not precise. So I have a If you want to have a little bending, you don't need to spray water, but if you want to have a bigger bending, you need to spray water. And carefully bending the rib. Okay, it's good. Yeah. So, as you might see in the video, my ribs is almost finished. Make adjustments. So we have to check it with our mold. Just I need to mention one thing that we have to be noticed about, that if we see any kind of twists, like this kind of twists in our ribs, we have to fix the twisting with our heat gun. We can bend it in like twisting the rib on the heat gun to have a very straight rib, because if you have some twists, you need to shave too much of your ribs. Before I do matching and testing the rib, we need to remove these little extra glues that goes out from the previous ribs that we glued here, so it doesn't let us to match the ribs on the mold. Stop it. So we have to clean it with chisel or scraper. Also on the back part, you can see some extra glues goes out, and dry it here. So I will clean it up with a chisel. So I'm even a little tiny kind of glue could see. I didn't even plane it, but it's completely matched here. It's nice. Also, the other end is good. Need to curve it a little bit. So let's see it on the mold. On the mold, as you can see, the matching is almost fine. No problem. I see sometimes for the first ribs we need to bend this tip a little bit more, because we don't follow the circle here. We make it a little bit smaller, so we need more bending on the tip. But at the corners, when we go to the sides, there is no need to bend the tip anymore. For very few this matches, this actually differences, it's not a problem. Sometimes you have a very tiny differences that we can shave it with a scraper at the end of the process, but it's almost done. So we need to start shaving and planing the edges of the rib to have a perfect match. For this part, I just can mark where I want to have it, to fix it with some previous rib. This is a good place, I think. a little bit more here, a little bit more here, and I number it. Number 4 at this side. Okay, it's time to shaving our ribs edge to have a very flat and make the very tiny angle that we need to match it to the previous rib. So for this purpose, we need a hand plane and a very flat reference surface. I fixed my hand plane in this piece of MDF. This is completely flat. I fixed it that there is no mismatches on the hand plane with this MDF, and I start planing like this on this hand plane. Also, sometimes we need this surface that we have some sandpaper glued on. I use a piece of thick glass to have a very, very flat surface. So I start with shaving the edges close to the lines to then we can make it completely flat, and I just check it. If I can see any light could pass through, I have to shave more. So now we have a lot of lights can pass through, so I start shaving. Okay, I'm satisfied with this, almost satisfying. So I cannot see any light pass through. Also, we need to match and shave both sides because we have to be careful about the part that we don't want to glue right now, because when we use on the next rib, we have to be sure about this edge of previous rib because we cannot shave it anymore when we fix it on the mold. So I shave the other part also, the other side. Also, I can remove my extra tip on the edge because it can makes us some mistakes. We'll do it until it's almost. Also, you can hear the sound. Sometimes I use some sanding. I'm pretty satisfied with this rib, with this shaving. There is no light can pass through. I will check it with light. Some little, maybe here still have some, and now both sides are almost perfect. There is no lighting. We will check if there is any kind of light can pass through. We have to shave our rib and then check it with the mold. Sometimes it takes more time on some ribs, and some ribs are more easy. And this one is almost good. You have to clean the edge every time. See? It's good. I think it's fine. So let's see it on the mold. So as I told before, you have to be sure that these two edges, these two sides, are completely clean out of any kind of extra glues that dried from the previous rib. But after we clean it up, we can check our rib. We don't need to force it to stick to the previous rib. Just a little bit pressure, just to see if there is any kind of mismatches and light could pass through. We have to shave it more. I can see that in the very this end, I can see if I want to. Let me show you with more lights. When I want to match this one, this end have some mismatches, so I mark it with the pencil to shave, place the area that is mismatched, and I plane it more. So carefully plane this part, and then check if you're good. Not, still has some mismatches on this side. Okay, it's I see that it's fine here. You don't have problem with other places, and on this tip also we need to remove some from here. It's almost good. So and all the time we have to check the other side to be matched and not to have any kind of problem for the next rib. As you see, I can easily, without matching the rib, without any force. So I can start gluing this rib on the mold, and using the paper tape to fix, and using this kind of pins, push pins, I think. Okay, that's fine. So let's glue the rib. Now I need to mark the block ends. Start matching the rib from the tip. I will a little bit sliding. When I'm satisfying with this, and also in the neck. And then using the tapes to add a little bit pressure on the joint to have a perfect match. That's enough, I think. I will check the bolts on black, and everywhere is completely glued nicely. So this is the end of our process of matching one rib to the old ball.